High Limit, World of Outlaws, Kyle Larson, Ohio Speedweek, Briggs Danner, Brady, NARC, Summer Nationals, and everything today. Let's go. It's Wednesday, June 12th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Get ready, race fans. Pennsylvania Speedweek presented by Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews is almost here, and it's bigger and better than ever. From June 28th to July 7th, the Keystone State transforms into a high-octane paradise as some of the best sprint car drivers in the nation battle it out on Pennsylvania's most iconic dirt tracks. This year, each race pays a minimum of $10,000 to win, with the Mitch Smith Memorial at Williams Grove on July 5th paying $20,000 to win, and Lincoln Speedway's Kevin Gobrecht Memorial on June 29th paying a record $25,000 to the winner. In the heart of the PA Posse's home, Central PA's marquee event, Pennsylvania Sprint Speedweek, has a storied history of being the most anticipated week of racing. The coveted title has been won by some of the biggest names in sprint car racing, including Fred Raymer, Greg Hodnett, Danny Dietrich, and Lance DeWeese. NASCAR champ Kyle Larson, he's inked his name in the record books as a PA Speedweek champion. And in addition to his championship, Larson and fellow NASCAR star Christopher Bell have Speedweek wins on their resume. Bring the whole family and experience the thrill of live racing. Pennsylvania Speedweek, 10 nights, 10 tracks, one unforgettable experience. For more information, go to paspeedweeks.com or find them on Facebook and X. Appreciate their support of The Daily Show. Eagle Raceway last night, the Kubota High Limit Sprint Cars in action. Another huge crowd, another Kyle Larson victory. He's undefeated in his career at the Nebraska track, and it was back-to-back series wins this season. Larson obviously didn't run at Butler or I-70, but did win in his last start at Lawrenceburg. I'd say he and Paul Silva have now officially settled in after some uncharacteristic performances earlier this season. Young Money had a nice mid-race slider fest with Carson Macedo, but took over for good after that, holding off Brad Sweet late in the rubber. James McFadden also on the podium with Macedo, the highest finishing Outlaw driver, in 4th. Gio Scelzi ended up 9th after starting 11th, and the two other Outlaw drivers in attendance might be wishing they hadn't burned the freebie. Logan Schuchart seemed to struggle all night and ended up 13th in the B-main, and Buddy Kofoid's night was over before it even started. I don't believe we ever got a replay on flow, but Kofoid crashed in hot laps and completely junked his Roth 83. Must have hit an absolute ton because the frame was in a banana shape as it slid down the track. He scratched for the remainder of the program. I have seen your questions about whether or not he will be charged a freebie from the Outlaws, even though he didn't technically race. I have reached out for clarification, but have not heard back an answer yet. If I do, I will certainly pass along that information. There didn't end up being any other Outlaw drivers there, even though there were rumblings of other possibilities. I said yesterday that David Gravel will likely use his other remaining freebie outside of Eldora for Lernerville. I just confused the dates. Gravel would use it for the summer race at Lernerville after Eldora and not the fall race. With so few opportunities left to actually use them with the schedule conflicts, looks like there's a solid chance that several of the Outlaw teams won't even end up using all four. For all this talk about freedom and picking races, it certainly seems like some of these teams don't care much to race outside of the Outlaw schedule. 4 drivers have yet to even use a single freebie. They are Sheldon Hodenshield, Donnie Schatz, Bill Balog, and Craig Kinzer. Gravel, Macedo, Gio, Brock Zierfoss, Bill Rose have all used one each, and Logan Schuchart, Landon Crawley, and sort of Buddy Kofoid have burned 2. Down through the field last night, a bunch of the other high-limit contenders had tough runs that included Brent Marks, Rico Abreu, Corey Day. And Tyler Courtney did finish in 6th, but lost more ground to Sweet in the standings. This championship is playing out basically how we expected it to, with Sweet's consistency just too much to keep up with. He's got 23 top 10s in 24 high-limit races, 6 victories, and an average feature finish for the season of 3.9. Those are insane numbers. The High Limit Series goes quiet now until June 26th at Lake Ozark, but all of these teams will stay busy over the next few weeks between the Outlaw Show at Knoxville, the High Bank Nationals at Huset's, and Dirt Cup at Skagit. At Hilltop Speedway, Night 4 of Ohio Sprint Speedweek went to Danny Sams. He battled out front with Greg Wilson and Brock Hallett and was able to rip the top to his first 410 win of the season. Wilson and Cap Henry also on the night's podium. I heard yesterday that Cap and Cale Thomas are the only 2 drivers to make every Speedweek feature so far, so it's no shock they lead the week-long championship. Sams is up to 3rd with the win, with Greg Wilson and Zane DeVault 4th and 5th. We spotlighted Sams a few weeks ago in an issue of the Slider, our email newsletter, and he continues to show speed on the road this year away from his home of Florida. He's definitely another one to watch in sprint car racing right now. Speedweek shifts to Sharon Speedway tonight with the streaming coverage, flipping over to Dirt Vision after the last few nights were on Flow Racing. In USAC sprint car action, Eastern Storm opened last night at Grandview, and the inevitable finally happened. You knew it was only a matter of time until Briggs Danner won one of these USAC races, and last night was the night. He started fourth, took over the lead on lap 15, and never looked back. Brady Bacon went 6th to 2nd. CJ Leary was 3rd. Championship leader Logan Seavey went 13th to 5th. We've seen Danner lead laps in USAC competition, including back in May at Eldora, and he had multiple second-place finishes, including at Grandview in 2022. He's a kid who will just about race anything, and I think is definitely overlooked on the national scene, but cool to see him finally get one. As for Brady Bacon, I made the case back on the May 22nd Daily Show that he should swap over to full-time wing racing for the rest of 2024, and since then, he's turned the wick up without the wing. He won that night at Circle City and has 4 straight second-place runs since. They definitely have figured something out, and he's clawed his way closer to the top of the standings. My stance hasn't changed, though. I still think Bacon could do well by swapping over. Eastern Storm continues tonight at Bridgeport. Other racing to check out tonight includes the NARC Sprint Cars kicking off their fastest 5 days in motorsports. They're at Southern Oregon tonight, Douglas County tomorrow, Cottage Grove on Friday, Willamette on Saturday, and then Grays Harbor Sunday. This trip up the West Coast will then lead into the Dirt Cup at Skagit the following week. Championship tight right now. Colmacedo leading Justin Sanders by just 2 points, and a lot will change over the next several days. Never sleep on sprint cars after dark out west. Always some fun things that happen out there. Also tonight, Summer Nationals gets going at Peoria. 5 weeks of racing, points checks awarded for each week. With the World of Outlaws late models off, I think you could see a few of those guys race this first week. Dennis Erb Jr. one the series has pointed to that could do that. You'll also see Jason Fager, Tanner English, some Southern guys like Trey Mills and Hunt the Front's Joseph Joyner, and more. This looks like it will also finally be the week where Tyler Erb falls off the Lucas Tour. Lucas is at Smoky Mountain this weekend, but Erb is scheduled to compete with the Summer Nationals throughout this first stretch. If you want to watch, Dirt Vision is your place. Jumping back to some racing from last night, Path Valley, Rick Eckert won his first late model feature of the season. He topped Mason Ziegler and Greg Satterley with Appalachian Mountain Speedweek. If you missed yesterday's Daily Show, I definitely recommend jumping back and listening to it or watching. There was some interesting tire drama over the weekend that flew under the radar here with this Speedweek. The App Speedweek is off today with racing continuing Thursday at Selinsgrove. Satterley still leading the championship over Matt Cosner. With the ASCS on Tuesday, they opened their own Speedweek at Texarkana 67, with Sam Hafertepe Jr. picking up win number 2 on the year, his second in a row. He topped championship leader Seth Bergman and Matt Covington. Bergman still with a pretty healthy margin in the standings through 5 races, but plenty of other contenders in the mix and lots of racing still to come. Since World Racing Group took over ownership of the ASCS, it definitely feels like things are a bit healthier. There's a little more buzz around the series. They did a full-timers class picture a few weeks ago with 18 drivers included. That's a strong field of guys to start a season. Not everyone will stick it out, but I think it's a good sign. The ASCS is off today with Speedweek continuing Thursday at Creek County. If you're looking for even more dirt racing content this week, might I suggest one or several of the other dirt racing podcasts out there. Wing Nation has Sheldon Hodenshield, Carson McCarl, and Cam Waters. Dirt Track Confessions has Johnny Gibson. Passing Points has Randy Ward. Hoagie's Garage has Randall Rusher and Lucas Wolf. Dunewich on Dirt has Dylan Baldwin. Turn 2 Terribles has Joey Amantia. Getting Up to Speed has a bunch of new stuff, and there are new episodes of The Dirt Reporters, The Dirt Nerds, Quick Time, Racing Roundup, Ohio Dirt, and The Drivers Project. To see a full list of the dirt racing shows and their newest episodes, head over to DIRTRACKR.com/podcasts. That's it for the show today. A quick note for you about the daily. If you or someone you know is hard of hearing and still wants to check out the show each day, I post full transcripts over at DIRTRACKR.com/daily. So you can watch on YouTube and Facebook, you can listen to the podcast on all of the major platforms, or you can read the show each day over at DIRTRACKR.com. I started posting the transcripts in 2021 just to kind of add a third option, and I know a bunch of folks consume it that way. Just trying to make things as easy as possible for you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.